Trenton Journal is for people who won't take no for an answer. Trenton Journal is for community leaders. Trenton Journal is for people who won't settle. Trenton Journal highlights some of the positive voices in the community and fills in the information gaps through original reporting.
Welcome to Capital Conversations. I'm your host, Kenneth Miles, founder and publisher of the Trenton Journal. And today I have with me the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Stacy Heading. You got a lot going on, so I'm gonna allow you to introduce yourself because I don't want to miss anything. So for those who may not be familiar with who you are and your connection to Trenton, go ahead and let them know.
Yeah, I got a couple things going, and I will admit, and I'm proud of everything that I'm a part of and what I'm doing because it all helped me and shaped me to who I am today. But I am the community director. I'm the director of community engagement for Isles Incorporated. And so it's been great. As everybody know, I started off with Isles, but working with the youth and working this after school program, which kind of grew into the position that I'm in now that allows me to really bring the visual and bring insight to Isles, from the community perspective. And so it started off when I was working with the youth. We were all over making all type of connections. And now today, I'm making connections and making sure that my predecessor is able to take advantage of what it is that we're doing and also bring awareness to them. I also am a part of an organization I started called Heal the City, Trenton, and we just do positive billboards all throughout the community. And then it kind of shaped into working with the Trenton School District and working with attendants and bringing awareness to things, working with the Trenton NAACP, and bringing awareness to matters and things that's happening in Trenton that can be helpful for the people in the city of Trenton. Then I have the female mentoring program, also mentoring young men, man, and helping them not only go to college, but like seeing them through college. It didn't start off like that, but after they started going away to school, we started realizing that young men need mentoring when they go away. And so we just started mentoring them all the way from, high school or junior high school, some of them, to all the way to college, and then helping them make these career choices. And so, with all of that involved in what it is that I do, it just made me a more rounded person that I understand our youth, our community, parents, everyone, so that they can be better at what it is that, doing to help them reach destiny.
What made you get into this line of work? Because you have to have it in you.
Yes.
To do that. And it takes a lot of patience. And for me, from the outside, I could tell that this is not just a job for you.
Right. Yes.
It's who you are.
We met a couple years ago, man. We hit it off. And in those couple years, you've seen me kind of venture into a lot of things. But everything that I venture into is things I have a passion for, things that God has gifted me in. And so what I do is I find a way in my gift to make it work for everyone. So not even for the people that might want to give our young people a chance, but I also look at what it is that they need too and how it all works together. The scripture says it all works together for those that love them. And so I just make sure that everything that I do, it benefits our community. These billboards benefit the city, the school district. We did a big campaign when it was COVID. And we put something strong together with the young people where the people that was on the billboard, they were young leaders and ambassadors, and they were educating their families and friends. And so it wasn't just coming from us, it was coming from them because we were getting information and knowledge from people in the health field. And so we wasn't just, at that time, you had a lot of things that was going on that we didn't know what was true or not true. And so that was part of the thing, to really kind of sit with directors and doctors and nurses and figure out okay, what is the real deal? And to the best of their knowledge, they gave it what it is, and we would put it on billboards, and we would just highlight and we flood the city with billboards. And so that's just part of the things that we do to make, not only make the city better, man, but just to bring awareness. Another thing is take a moment and God bless Algernon Ward. And we honored him with the Legacy Award for our Seed Male Mentoring Program.
Who recently passed away.
And we knew that we needed to acknowledge him for the work that he has done. And we've acknowledged a lot of seniors, and some have passed away, just like Mr. Detective Raymond Young, and also Darlene McKnight, who had the school named after her. So in honoring them, we make sure we have their bio, the whole understanding. We may do a billboard on them. And so when they do pass away, man, the families really respect and love the things that we did because we gave them their flowers while they were here. And so Algernon Ward, who was a great man, that I feel so much better in our organization. And people were calling me who was at the MLK breakfast because we gave him such a grand and a righteous introduction when he walked into the room. And so I still had a video on it, and I just play it and I send it on social media just to see how happy he was on that day and the families. And so that's what I mean by like really taking your gift, man, and understanding that you have something. And so I tell a lot of people, when you know you have something and you have it special, do not try to downplay it. Do not try to act like it's nothing. Instead, start growing in it and start seeing how you can make things better for other people. And at the end, if you truly believe in what you do, because like you said, it got to be in you, that's gratifying for you. So that means something to me when young people come and say they're off of probation because of the volunteer work that I put together to assure that that will happen. Being an advocate, being able to advocate for them between themselves, their family, and the court system, and letting them know, okay, this is what's happening, making sure that their fines are paid, and at the end they come with their certificate and it says they're no longer on probation. And when they give me that, man, that makes me feel so good.
Is this a new program?
This is a new program, and this is what I started through IOS. So what happened was I am on a lot of committees, and initiatives, and I'm on a gun reduction committee. I was on this thing called Impact, where they use a lot of social services and a lot of groups to come together to work with the probation officers and some law enforcement to just find out what can we do better for young people and how can we get them to go to court and how can we communicate so the kid don't go too far left. So we all meet once a month. Same as the gun reduction, people who got caught with, in the system with the gun violence, but making sure that when they come home that they could get a job. However we can do to help them. So with all of this, working with them and being a part of them, and sometimes I would have to go to the courthouse, right, to go to a meeting, and people that I know from the community come and say, oh man, Stacy, I didn't know you was a lawyer. And I'm saying, no, I'm not a lawyer, but they just knew I was a person of hope that they could depend on, and they could kind of talk to me about what they're going through. So one day I said to myself, because I do a lot of volunteer projects, I said, you know what? I'm going to reach out to probations, New Jersey probations, and see what can I do as far as helping these kids get off probation. So they made me a preferred vendor, if you may say. And being a preferred vendor, you get to, when they get out of court, they'll say you can do your probations with this place, that place. A lot of people in Trenton know me, so they'll have my name, Stacy Heading, at Isles. So they'll come and they'll call me and they say I need to do my probation. And so I will do an intake. And let me just tell you about our young people in our community. You need to be able to explain and communicate what it is that you're doing, how you're doing it, and what is going to be your style. I mean, don't leave anything for chance, because if they don't know and they don't understand, it could create a little bit of chaos,
What do you mean by that?
By saying like, they'll come and thinking that they don't really got to come and they're going to get off of probation, So you have to make sure that, okay, you hear through the courts and say I have their paperwork, you have 40 hours you have to do by this time. You have to communicate that to them. Then I communicate to them, now listen, let me explain something to you. I'm doing this because I care about you. And they'll look like, okay. And I say, let me tell you why. I'm going to record your hours. I'm going to make sure it gets to probations, because a lot of our people, they may do hours, they don't record it. And then when they go to court, they say, how many hours did you do? And they'd be like, I did my 50 hours. Then they say, let me see the paperwork. They don't have no paperwork. They just didn't know. It wasn't really quite explained to them. So I say, I'm going to make sure it's recorded. I'm going to be the advocate between you and this lady named Susan Cloyd, who's in charge of community service, and myself. And we're going to make sure it gets recorded. And when you're done, you're going to know you're done and complete. Here's the backside of it. Here's the flip side of it. If you don't, they're going to call me and I'm going to say, he hasn't been here. So it works both ways. And I tell young people, I say, so you're using me because you know me and you know I'm fair and you think you might could get over a little bit, but I'm also at hand to be able to talk to them at any time and when they call me, and I will not lie for you. And so if you haven't come, then I will tell them I have not seen you. So do you still want to be a part of this? You ask them that at the end. And they'll say, yeah, but at least now they understand. If I'm seeing Stacy, it's not just about me seeing somebody I know and I think he might, lie for me, for better term, right? But I also know that he's going to make sure I get my hours done. And that is the goal. And I tell him that should be your goal at the end of the day. Now, the community service work that I give them are things that's going to really enhance their life skills, work performance, because a lot of them aren't working. I get people who just got caught up, slipped in a little something to some young people who they're just rough out there in the streets and they can't find a job and they can't do anything. So when you finish these community service hours, we can help build you a resume and show that you have been working, because some of them don't have work history. And so all I'm saying is I know a lot of these things by being part of the community, working for ISLES for 15 years. When you work with young people for 15 years, you start to figure out, like, how can I make it better for them? I can look at what it is that the city needs versus what they need and and marry those things together.
What are some of the things that the youth out here need, in your opinion?
So our youth, really, so we say this, but we say it loosely, but they need to know that the people care about them and have something for them, right? And so even when you look at this thing I do with probations, at the end of the day, it's going to get them off of probation. And they can kind of start their life and they can get that monkey up off of their back. Because sometimes I get kids that's been on probation for 4 years because the first 2 and 3 years, they weren't even active and doing what they're supposed to do. Then they get more time added on. So you want to show them, like, when it's complete, always speak positive language to them. Like when they come in and when I know they're complete, and I done talk to the like say the probation officers, and they're saying they're complete, and we get all our paperwork together. When they come in, I say, guess what? I'm like, what? You're done. You completed. You've done everything you're supposed to do. Now I'm speaking life to them, because when they go home, they might say, Mom, I don't have probation no more. They say, well, you shouldn't have been on in the beginning. Those type of languages, it kind of affects them. But I understand sometimes, Kenneth, what these parents go through. They go through a lot over years with these kids, man, and they tired, So I try to show them ways of, like, speaking life and being positive and just saying, hey, man, you complete. What's next? I didn't think you were going to finish that, man. You did your thing. And you shake their hand, and, I might set something up with local businesses around here where they may have lunch. If they got a girlfriend that I know, or the girl got a boyfriend that I know that they're serious about each other, we might set them up lunch. I'll call down to one of the local restaurants and say, hey, listen, I got somebody coming down. Just give them lunch. But to them, I'm telling them in my office, this is a victory lunch. You have completed this. And you'll be surprised. Those little things, man, it go a long way with them. So I just tell people in the community, speak life to them. Don't speak negative stuff to them. Just let them know if it's something small that you have accomplished it and you have done well. And when you do that, they'll see you 7 years later, 8 years later, and it's just stuff that they don't remember, they don't forget. And they'll just walk up to you and start hugging you. You're like, where's this coming from? Because they'll never forget those words that you put into them.
Has there been anyone that you worked with that has stood out to you?
It's so many of them, man, and there's so many different ways. It's funny, I was recognized at the Thunder game, and it was something Quayshawn Williams, and other, people that work with him, carried the host, that put together, right? So I was like the OG. They called me the OG because they was giving me an award, a community hero award. But I was like, the OG that got it, right? I'm like one of the oldest ones. I'm on stage. They highlighted me. It was about 10 of us all
The
together.
uncle.
Yeah, that's all. Yo,
Oh.
it's so funny you say that because my daughter Sierra was saying, Stace, they was calling you Uncle Stacy. So that day, I guess when they post it or they'll say something, they'll say Uncle Stacy. And I take that as terms of endearment. Like I appreciate that because I know what that means in the community. And so when I was getting my award, I had former students there. Now I've been at Isles, let's just say Isles, I've been at Isles for 15 years. So it may be somebody like from my first 2 years there, I couldn't even remember them. Young lady came to me and said, "You don't remember me, do you?" And I said, "No, I don't. I just had to be honest." She said, "I was at Isles," and as she explained some stuff, then I remembered her, but she remembered what I poured into her. Because you got to keep it real from the beginning. And there's so many different things, Kenny, as you was part of, when I had the after school program and I was the after school manager for Owls, I used to give them so much exposure, taking them everywhere because I knew
Etiquette
exposure.
dinners.
Remember that? Etiquette dinners.
Broadway plays.
Broadway plays,
Yeah.
And I remember you made that call for me. I never forget that day. But then COVID happened while we were in line giving our tickets. The guy whoever you had contacted for that play, they moved our tickets. They said, your ticket's been changed. So I knew right then, I said, oh man, my man might got us in the front row or whatever. And right there, the the usher spoke to the person that was collecting the tickets, whispered in their ear, and they said, all right, wait a minute. Listen, I'll step outside for a minute. And that was the height of COVID, someone had COVID and we couldn't go. And I had to explain to these kids, like, we're not going to go. And you remember all the workshops and etiquette, everything that we practiced.
We worked together.
Prepared. We worked together on that.
Telling your Trenton story.
Yep, and telling your Trenton story because we wanted to not only give them the exposure, but allow them to have a chance to tell their story. And then I would bring my dear friend Ivy Avery, and she would teach them how to give a speech and project their voices and have pride in what it is that they were talking about. Because I believe in all of that. People just think it's math, it's college, that's what's going to get them more. It's not. It's just the other things, man. And it's the etiquette of it. It's the building their confidence. And once they start dressing nice, looking nice, but telling them when you dress nice, you gotta be nice on the inside too. It's not just being dressed on the outside looking nice and acting a fool. And you have to let them know you're acting a fool. You have to say words and let them know it sounds like their parents, but it registered. You're just letting them know you gotta get your stuff together, man. But that's okay because they appreciate that. And then when we go out to places, we would go to a Sixers game. Listen to this, man. I would take the guys and show them, like say we're gonna get popcorn or sandwiches, chicken fingers and stuff. I say, you see, look at them two. They'll see a guy and a girl on a date with Sixers apparel on. And I just say, people go on dates with their girlfriends to these games. Because a lot of them never seen that. Here in Trinidad, they just see like, you go to the game, you just get live, you just do it. But I'm showing them like he respects his girl. They went to a game. Guess what I said? There's other transportation. They could have called the subway, the train, the bus. But all I know is look at them, enjoying themselves. So there's nothing like when you're taking young people places and they see the visual. Oh, I'm not just talking, because as I'm talking to you, we're looking at them right now. And so they start to understand like healthy relationships and what's that about? My wife might call me on the phone and I might say, hello? And they'll say, and I'm just talking, but the kids can be around me. And I'll say, well, yeah, I'll have that for dinner. My wife would say, I took out turkey wings or we're gonna have this for dinner. I'll say, yeah, that's cool. I'll have that also. Yeah, make sure I had the lemonade because I like lemonade. And when I hang up the phone, they'll say, she cooking dinner? She's doing that because you take it as nothing, but it means a lot to them. And it means a lot. They watch how I communicate with her, how I talk. I'm not always yelling or mad. What you mean you ain't? No, it's gonna be none of that. They just see a man that treats them with respect, also treats their family with respect. So all of those things I've watched in my whole thing, it makes a difference with young people. And here's one thing I want to tell you. I can go downtown, and this has happened a lot on Academy Street, and I'm walking, and there might be 5 guys out there. They could be shooting dice, because this happened one time, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm already walking. I got to deal with it, whatever's going to happen, and it's a shame I'm thinking like that. But you just gotta be careful. Every time this happens, when I'm walking, somebody get up and say, Mr. Stacy. And I'll be like, what's going on, man? And they'll just start telling their friends about something that I've done positive in their life, or that the organization has done positive. So whether it's the female mentoring program or whether it's IELTS, they'll talk about the positive thing. I'm telling you, Ken, it haven't failed me yet. 10 times. Every time I walk into a crowd and I don't know what I'm getting into because it's dark, I might be going to the van or whatever, there's always somebody that knows me, that remembers what I've done. And that's why I always tell people, we're working with the youth and young people, you have to be fair, right? And so you have to treat the person who may not be as popular, who may be quiet or whatever, you can't flex on them and then let the other guys or girls get over and whatever it is they want to say. Everybody got to be treated fair. So now you're known for just, you're about your business. As a man, you're just known for that. And that stuff carries, man, and it goes a long way.
You mentioned Trenton Thunder. You just recently formed a partnership, right?
We are doing a field renovation. This is about our 9th year, 8th year, and we are working on baseball fields. And we're making them safe for the community. Now watch this. Remember when I told you about how what you do is good for the young people, because I'm going to have the kids on probation to come out there and get some hours. And then I invite the people from probation, the supervisors, to come see them working, to see how they work. Because I want them to see them in a way of not just coming into court, doing things. I want you to see their soft side. So when they do that, but what it does for the Thunders, it gives them like they're giving back to the community, because they want to kind of reach out to the community, but you need the right person in the middle to bridge things together. That's what IELTS do. And that's what I kind of started under IELTS, to allow the Trenton Thunders to come into the community, work with our people, and fix up little league fields that they were once a part of, and to make the holes out, make the pitcher's mound even. It's a beautiful thing. And when we finish, man, everybody feels good. And we get tickets to the game, because there's kids that never been to a Thunders game. And we go to the baseball game together as a family. I allow them to bring their families and everybody, and we all just sit back and watch the baseball game. And then guess what? They videoed us working on the field. So guess what? If they told their families I was working on the field, because sometimes families don't believe you, guess what? The families will see them on the Jumbotron working on the field.
So what's next for you?
What's next for me, I have quite a few things going on, but I'm helping a couple kids with scholarships. So from our MLK breakfast, we take monies from that, whatever we may have left over, and we help young people get to school. It's called the HELP Scholarship. And the HELP Scholarship is just a scholarship to make sure you get down there. It has nothing to do with financial aid. You do whatever you want with it, but we're going to get you. So if you're going to North Carolina Central and you ain't got no way there, we're going to make sure that you get there. And that's what that scholarship about. It's called the HELP Scholarship.
The HELP Scholarship.
Yep.
All right. So for people who are interested in participating in some of your programs and services at IELTS, how do they contact you?
So, you can just go to, you can email me at Heading, because my name is Stacy Heading. You can email me at Heading at IELTS.org. Or you could just even contact me, and just because it keeps popping up on my phone, my Gmail, sheading17@gmail.com.
All right. And just one more question. What kind of programs do you have available right now over at IELTS? Yeah, I know you do a lot of housing seminars.
So we do the housing. Yeah, we do. We have our school, IELTS Youth Institute. So when you go to the school, you get a construction trade, and you also get your high school diploma, which is a great thing for people. You just have to, when you go, you have to sign up, because we have an orientation and we have certain times, but we have a rolling, like you can definitely be a part of it. You just got to set it up. The Female Mentoring Program, where we meet on Saturdays like young people, young kings and queens. And guess what? As much as the great things we do with the Female Mentoring Program, with sports and everything going on, sometimes it's tough. Parents, that's why you have to get your kids into something to uplift their culture, to uplift their self-esteem, because it's not always about sports. And you want to have them ready in case their dream that they're dreaming about doesn't happen, but they're ready on the other end.
All right. Appreciate you.
My man.
All right. Thanks
Appreciate
a lot.
you, bro.
First guest. Appreciate you.
Yeah.